Hello guys, so welcome back to the Augmented Reality Elon Musk edition. So in the first video we tracked the image, the 2D, the book cover image, and we get the image anchor for it here. And then we create the video screen in the last video. This would be a model entity which we can place onto the image anchor. So on the one hand we have the image anchor for the book cover, and the other hand we got the video screen as a model entity. Now what we need to do is place the model entity onto the video anchor. Sorry, onto the book cover anchor. Great, so we need to place this model entity onto this image anchor. So to do that, I'm going to create a new function called place video screen. As you might be aware that I'm a fan of creating small functions to make it more clean. Awesome, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to just for neatness sake mark this out as object placement. Great, here I'll create a function for placing the video screen. So place video screen. So this would accept as input the video screen as a model entity. So video screen as type model entity, and also the image anchor which we want to attach the screen to. So this would be image anchor, which would be of type AR image anchor. Awesome. So in here, what we want to do as usual is first create an anchor entity out of the anchor, the AR image anchor in this case. And then what we want to do is take the model entity of the video screen and attach it to this anchor. So attach model to anchor. And then we'll add both of them to the scene. Add anchor to scene. And these are the three steps that we usually did to place an object onto the real world. But this time we need to add one other step. After creating the anchor entity, what you need to know is with image anchors, by default, when you place a model on it, it would be perpendicular to the anchor. So if you got the book anchor like that, then the model would be attached like that, perpendicular. So the plane, i.e. the video screen, would appear like that. But we want it to appear flat like that. So what we need to do in between here is to rotate the plane, the screen, about 90 degrees in the x-axis. Great, so these are the steps, and let's start filling it in. So here we're going to create an image anchor entity. And this would be an anchor entity which will initialize with an anchor in this case, which would be this image anchor. Awesome. Now that we have the anchor entity, remember the next thing is we want to rotate the screen by 90 degrees in the x-axis so that it would appear flat onto the anchor, not perpendicular. Great, so let's do that now. To do this, let's create a rotation angle. This is a quaternion actually, so we're going to create a SIMD quaternion of float type, and then this would be initialized with an angle and the axis. So the angle would be 90 degrees, minus 90 degrees, so that it's, if you do plus 90 degrees, it will be upside down. We want it facing up so that we could see what's on the screen and not get that bit hidden. So make sure this is minus 90 degrees, the angle. And obviously, this is in radians, so we need to convert this to degrees. So for that, I'm going to use a function called glkmaths degrees to radians. So degrees here would be minus 90. And for the axis, I'm going to create SIMD3 and XYZ, and we want to rotate it in the x-axis. So we're going to put this to 1 and Y to 0 and Z to 0 as well. Awesome, that looks fine now. And now we can, with this rotation angle, we can set the new orientation and for the screen. So for that, I'm going to get access to the video screen and set its orientation to the new quaternion, which is the rotation angle, and this would be relative to the image anchor entity. So that's the rotation done. So this would place the video screen on top of the image anchor. That's great. But what we want is we want the screen not on top of the book cover, but onto the side. So for that, we're going to shift the position of the screen right, like that. So we're going to shift it by the width of the book image. So here what we'll do is we'll position the screen to the side. So here, how are we going to do this? Well, first, to get the width of the image, the book cover, we'll get the image anchor and get reference to its reference image, and then physical size dot width. And we'll store this in a variable called book width. Now, what we're going to do is we can set the position of the screen to this width in the x-axis. So I'm going to get access to the video screen. And this time, instead of set orientation, I'm going to choose set position. And here, I'm going to create a 3D vector again, x, y, z. And here we only want to change the position on the x-axis. So we're going to change the x value to the book width here. So we're going to shift it by however wide the book is, so that it will be right next to the book. So this would be book width. And y and z, we'll just leave it to 0. And this would be again relative to the image anchor entity. Oops, image anchor entity. Awesome, so we set the rotation and the position right. So now the video screen should appear right next to the book. All's good and great. We got the anchor, we got the positioning right. Now let's attach the video screen model entity onto the anchor entity. So for that, again, get access to the image anchor entity, add as child the video screen. And finally, we're going to add this anchor to the scene. So let's get access to the AR view, scene, add anchor, and this would be image anchor entity. Awesome, that's it. So that's how we place the video screen model entity onto this AR image anchor with the right position. And now if you click build, you see there's one error. Let's see what that is. It says cannot convert value of type CG float to expected type float. Okay, right. So if you go to book width and see what type it is, it's type CG float. And here we need of type float. So we're just going to wrap this in float to convert it. And now if you click build, it should work fine. Great. So that completes the place video screen method, which places a video screen model entity onto the image anchor. Now let's go back to our main thing, which is this method where we get access to the added image anchor, i.e. the detected image. So here, to recap, we first got access to the image anchor. Then we created a video screen model entity using this method. And then we'll place this video screen onto this image anchor. And for that, we just created this function. So we're just going to call this function here, place video screen. This would be the video screen to the image anchor, which is this. So there's one last thing we need to fix, and that is, if you remember, we added the AR session delegate to get access to this callback, which calls every time a new image anchor is added. So because we added this delegate here, we need to assign the current view controller as the delegate. So to do that, we're going to take arview.session.delegate, and we're going to assign that as the current view controller. Great. So now if you click build and run, it should work.